Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Keto living is the life for me. Coffee, cooking, and recipes. Spending my days with my doggies. So be a sport. Set your alarm for Wednesdays for the Warden's Report.
Welcome to the Warden Report. Does this coffee make me look alive? I don't know, you tell me. So it is after 10 and I'm having my cup of coffee today. I'm just putting in a little MCT oil and just a half serving of that pumpkin creamer. I don't know, I'm finding I'm liking that. Like I'm tasting more of the coffee, which I'm enjoying. Yeah, it is Wednesday, y'all. And I am fasting today, and then we'll see. So I've tried to do, like Mindy Pell's has this whole where you do certain things at different times in your cycle. So I'm trying to follow that and just see how that works, y'all. We'll just see. So yeah, that's what's going on today. So not going to have a whole lot on here, but I definitely am going to have my coffee. So I know for some people, they're like, oh no, coffee, especially with MCT or whatever, is it going to break a fast? But then there's studies saying that the MCT oil actually accelerates autophagy. So, you know. But yeah, here's the Warden Report. Just going to be rambling about who knows what all week. And hopefully you'll find it entertaining. And then I just want to show y'all. Let me show you Sam. So this weekend, I watched all their bedding. And I came in here, and actually just a few minutes ago, I moved this old, it used to be white. Like, even washing it, yeah, it's just old. I had moved it over here in this little corner, because sometimes he likes to lay right there. And that was literally like 10 minutes ago, and he's already moved it out. And then he's moved that blanket. And yeah, he moves all these. These are the toys, like I just went to break, to make my coffee. He brought in all of these toys in that amount of time. Like he just runs and grabs a toy, runs it here, drops it, and does that repeatedly. But yeah, he loves to, I guess it's called nesting. He likes to get the blankets and he'll use his mouth and his paws and he'll move them how he wants them. And look at that. Isn't he so cute, though? Are you cute, Sam? Oh, you're that asleep? He ain't that asleep. I guarantee you, if I had a TREAT, he would be up in 2 seconds. But yes, so that's what he's done. I guess he doesn't like me putting this, because that's like the second time that he has moved this rug from where I put it. So I guess he's just like, no, that's not where it goes. But yeah, so that's him. He's being so sweet. Are you a good boy? You're not going to tell everybody hi? Sam. Sammy. Come on, tell everybody hi. There you are. Are you a good boy? Say, yes, I'm the best boy ever. He is good. And you're wondering, where's Delilah? She has taken up with, there's a couch in our front, I guess that's the formal living room is what my mother always called it. But it's an old couch from like the 1800s. It's, might even be called like a fading sofa. But I have it in there and she loves to lay on it. So she'll go in there and just lay there all day long. She'll either do that or she'll do our regular couch that we sit at. And that's where she likes to go. So she enjoys that rather than being, I guess, cooped up in here with me all day. So, sweet. But that's what we're doing today. So we're just going to get back to work. I know, so boring. And it's a rainy, drizzly day, y'all. So I had to, like, kind of go out with them to make sure they would. Because they're like, oh, I don't know, the floor's wet. But he's actually pretty good about it. But Delilah always needs some coaxing. Happy Thursday. this week has flown by, y'all. I'm just so happy. I got my Salem shirt on, and it is 11:15. Enjoying my coffee. I actually made this a little while ago, and look, I washed my hair last night, so I don't look so horrible, or at least my hair doesn't. But yeah, I am having a good day. So a little bit, I'm going to break my fast with some bone broth. I'm going to add a little gelatin to that. And right now, of course, just working. Always working. And then I am listening to this podcast. You know how YouTube will recommend stuff? And they recommended this one. The YouTube channel is called Food Addiction Institute. Now, the only podcast I've listened from them is the one with a Dr. Robert Lustig, Lustig, Lustig. Have you heard of him? I asked in our Facebook chat. So far, nobody has heard of him, but very, very interesting. This doctor, he went to MIT to study about nutritional biochemistry, learned all of that stuff, then got his doctorate in neuroendocrinology. I mean, this guy. And then got a law degree. I mean, that is a lot, right? And he went to big schools, MIT, Cornell, and then law degree from UC Hastings. I don't know UC Hastings, but I'm just like, some people like that. It's like, wow, you love learning. Like, I love learning. And I would have loved to have gone to medical school. You never heard before. Like, I was pre-med in college. Didn't make it. Long story. So, I would have loved that. But, that is major money. And, yeah, I know it's really stressful and everything. But, I mean, to go and get all of those, that just, I mean, one, probably has some money, right? Because that's a lot, especially those big schools. But that is a lot of knowledge to have. And so with that knowledge, he was originally treating children with brain cancers. And he was noticing that after they treated the brain cancer, almost all of them became obese. And so then that led him down the path of, why are they, obese? Why is this happening? And then he found out that, sugar, basically the culprit, right? And especially in America, as we have so many heavily processed foods where sugar's like the main ingredient. Go look at a box of anything and sugar's usually the first thing. And what he is talking about is that sugar is not food. Sugar has no nutrition. That sugar is actually a food additive. And it gets into how it works on your body and, basically that it's a poison. If your body has sugar, that it can't do the other things to get healthy. I just find it very interesting to me, and it's a great talk. So go look at that podcast. This podcast episode number 12, again, with Dr. Robert Lustig. Just very interesting. I like to hear different people's points of view, and I mean, we kind of know this in the community. We know sugar is bad for us, right? And I do like, his thing where he's like, look, you gotta, if you're trying to be metabolically healthy, one, you gotta have a healthy liver and a healthy gut. And so sugar and highly processed foods aren't going to do that. There's some kind of scale. I didn't catch it was like Nova scale or something. But he said, basically, like an apple is considered a 1, but an apple pie is like a 4. And he's like, because a real whole food, even if it has sugar in it, like fructose, it will still have enough fiber. And he talks about how the fiber plays with the sugar in a whole food item. And I just find that interesting because I feel like the more I'm learning about overall nutrition, right, is that whole foods is really where it's at. So even in the keto community, and I'm guilty of this myself, like, we still have processed foods, highly processed keto foods. Ultimately, is that for health? Like, if your goal is health, is that really, like, you might still lose weight. And he talks about, yeah, like the different, what is it, Ozempic or whatever the new weight loss pills are. He talks about that and talks about how, yeah, you might lose weight, but that does not equate to metabolically healthy. And I just thought that was interesting and kind of, makes me think, okay, yeah, I've been eating a lot more whole foods, but I'll admit, there are times where I might get that. Of course, now I can't find them anywhere, but the MCT bar, I really enjoyed those. So I would have those, or sometimes those JoJo's, the little chocolate treats, and it's like, yeah, when we're making stuff like that, then, where is that on that scale of healthiness? Whereas, instead having something, and I know that's controversial, but maybe having half an apple with some nut butter would be a lot healthier option versus getting one of those keto products. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know below. Have you heard of him? Did you watch the podcast I mentioned? What were your thoughts and opinions? And then what are your thoughts on the whole processed foods and sugars and stuff? I love to hear everybody's input and thought process. I love that. Like, so last week when the Warden Report came out, I just love reading everybody's comments. I love all the perceptions, and I love when y'all share your information and your knowledge with me, because I feel like that's what we're here for, is to really bring everybody up, like lift everyone, educate everyone more and more. We all have different perspectives, and we can all learn from each other. So that's what I look forward to. That's, I put out here what I learned, but I learned stuff from y'all all the time. So please keep educating me, y'all. Y'all, it is 12:40, later than I planned, but we had our monthly team meeting where we just chit-chat and enjoy getting to know our coworkers that are on the direct team. So that was fun. So that put me behind, but I'm going to break my fast since it was a longer fast. I'm going to break it with some beef bone broth, add a little bit of gelatin, and then I added some spicy flat iron pepper company seasoning to it because I like it. I like it hot. So I'm going to drink this in probably in about an hour, maybe a little longer. Then I'm going to finally have my lunch. I'm excited about it. I've been really craving like Raising Cane's, but bad oils, bad flours, like all of it's bad. So I'm making my own. So earlier today, I coated my chicken because I'm out of mayo. I need to make mayo. I'm out of mayo and all, so I coated it actually in my kefir cheese. Yes, I know, going to not really get the probiotics from it, but that's fine. I've got kefir cheese up the wazoo, so I coated it kefir cheese, and then pork panko, and that's been basically sitting in the fridge, firming up. And I'm gonna when I seasoned with the ancho chili powder that I got on discount, I'm gonna pop that in the air fryer, and then I think we have some bacon, so I'm going to make bacon fries, and I have an avocado, so that's basically going to be my lunch. Oh, and I made the Raising Cane sauce, which I know we've done on a live before. It's so easy, y'all. It's just mayo, ketchup, salt, pepper, garlic. Oh, it's what's this here sauce? That's it. It's so easy, y'all. So I made that, so I'm going to have that on the side, plus I made some kefir ranch the other day, so I'll probably have some of that as well. And of course, my fermented foods. I'm excited about it. Like, it's been a while since I've had any of that, so I'm excited to have all of that. So yes, that is, my lunch today. So it has been 50 minutes to have my broth, and I'm going to have my kefir. Of course, Gonna have that kefir, gotta feed. Now that my gut is awake from the broth, I'm gonna feed it some good bacteria, like over 100 million probiotics in this drink. So I'm gonna drink it up. I added some of my pumpkin spice, because that's what I love. So I'm going to drink this. In the meantime, I've got my chicken in the air fryer, and I'll show you when that's done. Hey, y'all, it's a big lunch. So I have the chicken tenders. So basically, it was 2 small chicken breasts that I kind of sliced up. You see some of them are a little small. And so I've got that coated with the pork panko. And then I've got a small avocado here, seasoned and salted with red beans. Then, of course, I've got my sauerkraut, my kimchi. It's my homemade Raising Cane sauce with the kefir. And then also the kefir ranch. So definitely got my probiotics going on. And we'll see if I even finish this, y'all. Y'all, I only ate half of it. I've got half the chicken left, some of the dip. But I saved just enough room so I can have a dessert. So it's my kefir cheese. And yesterday I made some lemon curd, completely keto. And I had to take a little taste, make sure it was right. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on there. Probably top it with a little bit of salt. And that's my dessert. Oops, sorry, y'all. Thursday dinner, y'all. I think I finally perfected the crepe where I got a really good result. So I kind of made a semi pizza crepe. I just lightly loaded it. And then I've got here the jalapeno cheese, moo cheese, some sauerkraut. This is that spicy kraut by Bubby's. And then we have a little bit of a pork loin left, and I sauteed mushrooms and fajita vegetables. And that is what is on top. And then I got my topo. I haven't had topo in a few days, so excited to drink this. Welcome to Friday the 13th. Ooh. Tell me, what do y'all do on Friday the 13th? I'm watching different videos, people talking about like what they do or what it means to them and that kind of stuff. One of my coworkers is like, oh my gosh, my kid's school already had a water break and oh, the 13th is starting, like totally negative about it, right? So, and I know that there's a lot of people that associate with a lot of negativity. And I was watching a YouTube about the actual history of Friday the 13th. It was very interesting. You could put it in YouTube, history of Friday the 13th. And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, right? But nowadays, a lot of people put negative connotations. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on Friday the 13th. I was talking to Heath last night, and I was like, what do you, we've got the Friday night. Like, I feel like we need to do something. And so I was throwing out ideas, and he was just like, nah, it's just another day. Let's just do this or that. And I'm like, that seems kind of lame, Heath. Like, this is our Friday night. We should do something as a nod, right? So make sure you tune in to the Friday Night Feast to see if we did anything. So, and I'm excited about tonight. So all week, since if you watched his MS journey last week, you saw where we were attempting our first ever crepe. When I say attempting. And so all week, I have been practicing. So it will most likely be me making them on the Friday Night Feast. But I have been practicing on trying to come up with a good recipe that works. And because the coconut flour, that did not work for me. Now Heath read up and he was like, oh, they're saying if you use coconut flour, you're supposed to let it sit for like 12 hours or something. But anyhow, I think last night I finally came up with the recipe to make it work. So we shall see how it does tonight. Last night, the 2 crepes I made, I think I wouldn't say perfect, not restaurant quality, ain't gonna be selling it, but I think it came out actually pretty good. So make sure you tune in to see how that works, if it's an epic failure or if we manage to do it correctly. So yeah, looking forward to that tonight. And then, let's see. What else? Oh, and I'm drinking my coffee. I don't know if I even said that. And yeah, so I'm excited about today. Just work is really light and easy today, so I'm enjoying that. Sam's being his cute, adorable self behind me. He's asleep. And everything's going well. Delilah is taking a nap on the couch. She's like, I'm going to just be chilling here on the couch. And I'll get up when you take us outside. She's so cute. And then trying to decide what to have for lunch today. I am going to have my kefir in a little bit. Oh, wow. It's almost 11:30. But I think I'm going to make kind of a I said kefir, not Kiefer Sutherland, which, I mean, anyhow, kefir, or as some people say, kefir. I am going to do a smoothie, so I'm going to add some flaxseed, because I heard that was really good as a prebiotic for gut health. So I'm going to add some flaxseed to it, and some cocoa powder, and of course, I got to add my pumpkin spice. I mean, it is the season, so it's going to be like a chocolate pumpkin. But I'm going to add that to it and drink that here in a little bit before I have my lunch. I just like to get that going. So drinking my coffee first, which I'm still using the MCT oil, and I'm not doing as big a scoop with my pumpkin spice creamer for bulletproof. One, because I need that to stretch. Like, I can't just keep buying these tubs of it. Even though it is freaking delicious, I'd love to have some more. Try to stick to the budget, right? So, I'm having that, and, coffee is also a great prebiotic. So, feeding my gut. And then, soon, I'll have the kefir smoothie, which will have the prebiotics in it. So cacao powder and flax seeds are both great prebiotics as well. So all of that together, it's like, I'm trying to make my bacteria happy, y'all. I'm trying to make them be like, oh, okay, we like living here. We're going to set up shop. We're going to build some houses, and we're going to make this person healthy, right? That's what I'm trying to convince them. You want to be here because this is a great place to be. And let's just get healthy. And what I hear from a lot of people over and over as I'm watching, these different podcasts, is your body wants to be healthy. It wants to be healthy. That's why things that happen, such as, when you have high blood pressure or diabetes and stuff, it's like your body is screaming, hey, I want to make you healthy. I'm giving you signs here to change something so that, help me help you kind of situation. And I feel like, yeah, that's true. Like, it does want to be healthy. So, but we have to give it, our body, what it needs to be healthy. Like, we can't expect them to, like the good bacteria, to go to war with the bad bacteria if they don't have any armor. And that they're not, feeling good themselves, or that they're outnumbered. Like, we got to do things to promote that. And so it's not just, okay, like, we are eating right. Like, that's our first step. And then getting in these great prebiotics, probiotics, polyphenols, just like Dr. Mindy Pelz talks about, getting that in here. And I have to tell y'all, like, I am currently down, let me do the math real quick, about 40 pounds since I started this gut journey. So I feel like, yeah, it's really working, and we're getting there, and it's just good signs. And then the other things we have to tackle. So number one is food. Once you got that, then you could start working on your mental health. So doing things, and to me, mental health is also stress is part of that. So, and I know that's one of the things that I could tell I will get stressed easily. And so trying to do things that keep the stress, aka cortisol, lower. So that's one of the main reasons why I wait on having my coffee, right? My cortisol is already going to be higher in the morning. That's why I do a few squats every day. It ain't much, y'all. But I feel like I do those to try to help burn off that cortisol, because cortisol is one of those hormones. If you don't burn it off, it gets stored. And I'm not about storing it. And I'm sure that's a lot of the issues, like looking back in my childhood and everything. Yeah, I probably have always had high cortisol. And that's probably one of the reasons that, I store everything, is because, like, I have never, some people, if you grew up in a happy, healthy home environment, you were so fortunate. Like, that is amazing. I didn't have that. I had a very stressful, like, my mother used to say, it was like walking on eggshells. That's how it always felt my entire childhood. And I kind of got, like, you kind of get used to that, and you don't realize what it's like to not walk on eggshells. And then your mental is like, wait, this isn't right. Like, you're supposed to be, like, constantly stressed and tensed up because you never know when something's going to go wrong, or someone's going to freak out, or, the screaming and the yelling and all that stuff that goes with it, right? And so, it's kind of realizing that and doing things to release the cortisol. So doing like my morning squats, getting that out. And then after meals, I have to be honest, after my lunch, I'm not as dedicated to walking because I go back to work. But doing things like getting up, taking the dogs out, going out, getting some fresh air, walking around. And then every night after dinner, of course, tonight we're going to be on the live. But, after dinner, trying to do some either DDPY or, cleaning the house, whatever it is that, need to do to get that going, right? So just trying to do that. And then, like I said, if you ever feel like you're getting stressed or something hits and you're like, oh, like I'm stressed, Mindy Pell says the best thing you could do at that moment is go take a walk. Just a simple walk, just for like 10 minutes. So, and I know a lot of us used to, when we get stressed, it's like, well, let me reach for that treat. Let me reach for, this thing that'll comfort me, whether it's food, alcohol, sugar, whatever it is, that's what we reach for. Well, now what she says, and I'm trying to do this, so if I feel that, ooh, I'm getting a little tense here, because like last week I was helping out another team, and even though it is, like, a lot of people think what I do now is more difficult than what I used to do, which it is to some extent, but it was just, they were so overwhelmed. I felt that stress of, I got to get them caught up. Like, I got to get this done. And so it was like, okay, when you feel that, okay, let's go do something. So whether I would just get up and do, some squats, go around the house, just go spend 5-10 minutes, take a break, go spend 5-10 minutes and clean, sweep, whatever, just to get out that cortisol. Like, that is really important. So if you are somebody who has that stress, kind of keep that in mind. So have that awareness of when that stress hits, okay, let me get this out. I got to get this out. So go take that walk. Go get on the treadmill. Go, run in place if you have to. Just something to get that out so your body doesn't store it. So I know that's a big issue with me is, again, like I've always lived this life. So I'm trying to be more mindful of when I'm stressed and then dealing with that in a healthy manner. So that was the second thing. And then the third thing is, kind of after mental health is exercise or movement, right? I know some of us hate that. I hate it. Some of us are great at it. Like Renee, #1 groupie, like she is awesome at working out and doing all of that. Like, kudos to her. I absolutely hate it. But that kind of goes back, tied in with #2. I'm making it more of a purposeful. So I think if, in my mindset, like my coach was telling me, oh, maybe you should start doing like a step tracker. And immediately I'm just like, Like, I don't want this to be like a challenge. I don't want it to be something I've got to track or I've got to get to a certain thing. I want it to be purposeful and something that I'm acknowledging, okay, I need to do this because my cortisol, because my gut health. Like, I'm taking a walk or doing exercise after I eat so that my gut is healthier, so that it is better at digesting that food than just sitting slumped in the couch or on a chair, right? And in my mindset, when I think of it that way, then I'm more apt to do it, because it's not like, oh, I have to exercise. Oh, I got to go do this, whether I want to or not. It's more of, oh, I need to do this because I want my gut to be healthy and happy. So I need to get that. Or, well, oh, my cortisol's high, so I need to do this to get rid of and use that cortisol up. To me, that has more impact on how I process it than saying, oh, I need to get 5,000 steps a day. Like that, if I have a challenge in place for it, it just isn't, I just almost revolt against it. And that's why you never see us doing challenges on our channel, because I don't like challenges. Like, to me, it puts a start and an end point, and it puts this mindset of, I have to do this. No matter what I think or feel, well, now I've got to do it. I have no choice. This is the challenge. I have to do this. And I almost feel like I'm like somebody's got me at gunpoint if I have to do a challenge. I'm at a gunpoint. Somebody's forcing me to do this. Whereas if I don't put it in a mindset of a challenge, like, oh, I'm going to challenge myself to 5,000 steps a day for the next month. Like, for some people, that works great. Some people need that motivation. But for me, it's that revolt. I think part of it is probably childhood trauma of that being told, you're going to do this. You have to do this. This is no choice. And that's just the way it is. You know, if I tell you this, that's how it's going to be, no matter what you think. That's my mindset, right? And I'm sure it is the childhood trauma. Whereas if I'm like, you know what? I need to do this every day for my mental, for cortisol, for gut health. I'm going to do it because it's like, I want to do it for those goals. And then if a day happens where I'm like, you know what? I'm just not feeling good today, or, you know, this is going on. I just need the day off. Then I'm like, it's okay. And I don't feel like a failure. Whereas with the challenge, I'd be like, well, now I've failed. So what's the point? Why continue? I failed it this day. Where it's like, no, you know what? This is life. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And most days are okay days. And you just go with it. And that's how I feel. So if I have a day where I'm like, you know what? I forgot to do my squats this morning. Oh, well. You know, it's a rainy fall day. I just don't want to get up and do anything. I'm just going to be lazy on the couch all day. Maybe I'll take a nice bath later on and just relax some more. It's okay. I didn't fail anything. I didn't fail myself. I didn't fail a challenge. Instead, I'm like, yeah, that it's okay, because tomorrow is a new day, and tomorrow I can do those things, and it's going to be okay. I didn't end anything forever, because this is life for me. So you just have to live every day. There is no end point. We just want to keep going and do the best we can on a daily basis. So comment below. I know I ask y'all to comment all the time, but comment below. Are you a challenge person, or are you anti-challenge? Just like to know who's who. All right, I'm having that kefir smoothie. So I added the cocoa, or the new tropics from Wild Foods. So it's basically got cocoa powder and some mushroom powder. Added that, a couple tablespoons of the flax seeds, and the kefir. I mean, it's pretty good. Uh, yeah. I don't know if I'll make it continually, but we'll see. And on this marvelous Friday, the 13th lunch, I've got two I'm just kidding. They're bacon wrapped andouille sausages. For dipping, I've got some smashed avocado and ranch kefir. I'm out of my fresh avocado pelt, and I topped it with the smoked hickory Redmond's real salt. And then for my sides, I've got some of those Herman spicy pickles. Heath opened it today, so I was like, well, now that it's open, I might as well have some. Some spicy sauerkraut by Bubby's. Kimchi. And then some fresh radishes, just a couple that I sliced up and then drizzled with salt. Did anyone grow up having that as like an afternoon snack where you had like fresh radishes with salt and sometimes mayo on them? So it is the afternoon, and I was like, you know what? I need some coffee. So I made the Trader Joe's pumpkin spice coffee. So I think it was $8.99 for a container, a tube of it, basically. And it looks really good. Like when you open it up, it looks like there are little bits of pumpkin in it. It looks really good. It smells amazing. I got it last year. Just to be honest, I got it last year. I loved it, and that's why I got it again this year. And, yeah, and normally I only have 1 cup of coffee a day, but I was like, you know what? I think I deserve another cup of coffee. So, yeah. And what I did with this one is I added a little butter. It's been a while since I had butter in my coffee. And then I added a half a scoop of that pumpkin creamer. And, yeah, it's really good. So, enjoy my afternoon coffee. It is 3 o'clock. And then I have a question. Just want y'all's opinions, thoughts. Not asking, just your thoughts. Because, we do the channel because we love to cook. We've always loved to cook. And used to, we'd post all the time in different foodie groups. So, it just felt like a natural progression to do the channel. And just enjoy cooking. That's why our live is us cooking. Because that's what we love to do. Well, I don't know if anybody watches Chris the Girl. She does a lot of, like, Halloween-inspired stuff and, like, hauls and decor hunting. Today she released one where she's staying at a haunted house in Florida. She's out of Florida, y'all. So, she always does this, and I thought it was cute, where she's always out getting, like, a coffee or sometimes a tea, and she'll say, hey, this coffee is bought by so-and-so every week, right? And I was like, well, oftentimes we go to Dutch every week. So what do y'all think? She uses Buy Me Coffee, which we have that link below, Buy Me a Coffee. Now, you can either do monthly memberships or one time. It's up to y'all. We just kind of created that because, to be honest, Buy Me Coffee gives us a bigger percentage than, say, YouTube. YouTube, like, they take a big chunk, y'all. Whereas Buy Me Coffee, we get 95%. So the only way to get, like, 100% is you have to have, like, PayPal or Venmo. Then that's a whole other thing. There's some tax changes going on with that. So Buy Me Coffee is a good, that's a good platform as far as if you want to help to a creator, right? So I was thinking, well, would that be something fun to do? Like, whoever buys us a coffee for the week or whatever, I do a shout out when I get the Dutch coffee. What do y'all think? Would that be something fun to add either to my Warden Report? Probably, most likely to my Warden Report. I would say, okay, this Dutch coffee is brought to you by Miss Wonderful or Mr. Awesome, whoever it is, and do that. What do y'all think? And then I was thinking, like, should we transfer away from the YouTube channel membership and go to Buy Me a Coffee membership? What do y'all think about that? Those of you that are channel members, what do you think? I like the YouTube channel member offers, that allows us to set up private videos, to set up, different posts that we could do in the community tab. It just allows us to do that. Whereas if we go to Buy Me Coffee, we would still have our monthly cook along, but I would have to make any videos a private video to where you would have to have the link in order to see it. So instead of like going to the membership tab or the membership playlist, you would have to actually have the link to the YouTube video. What do y'all think? Thoughts? Opinions? You think that's asking too much? Just curious what y'all think. And, if I should be like, wow, Shelly, why are you asking for stuff? Like, don't be doing that. Like, what do y'all think? I am back from the stores, and I'm going to show you my grocery haul. I'm a little sad, because I was over budget this week. But there are a few things that I'm not going to need for a while, so therefore it'll save me next week. So, and last week I was under budget by about $10, so it'll even out, right? So, we're going to start with Sam's. So, I did the Sam's pickup. Y'all, that is so nice. What I got there is the avocado oil. It was the cheapest anywhere. And I read that coming up, avocado and olive oil might be increased. So, if you find it for a good price, go ahead and get it now. So, I got that. And then, number one groupie told us we needed to get these real crumbled bacon bits. And so I got a package of that, and that was $9. And then he loves these Members Mark cheddar jalapeno, and this was, I think, $14 for the package, $10 for the avocado, $9 for the bacon bits, so it came to $33 at Sam's. Then, after Sam's, I went to Aldi. So, Aldi, I did do some good prices. I was price comparison to the other places. So, the jalapenos were cheaper. I got a package of that, 55 cents. The tomatoes were cheaper. They were $1.99. $1.75 a container. And then they have their 6-count avocados for $1.99. So, at Kroger, it was a 4-count for $1.99 with their special, but Aldi had 6. And I checked, and yeah, they're the same size. When I got to Kroger, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get a bag here at Aldi, and I'm glad I did, because Kroger's, it was $1.99 for only 4, and it's the same size avocados. So I got 2 extra avocados. I got the bag of the sweet potatoes. I was just going to buy like one, but it was a good buy at Aldi. It was like $2.69 for a 3-pound bag. So we'll figure out. I might ferment some more, have it, coming up. So we'll see what we do there. And then I also got the eggs at Aldi. They were $1.29 for a dozen. That was cheaper. And then the other thing it's not shown is I got their whole milk, which was $2.54 a gallon. I went ahead and got it because on Kroger's app it was saying $3.09. Then I'm going to show you what I got in Kroger, but I was kind of like sad because I spent a little too much there. So that was at Aldi. I spent $15. So I feel like that's pretty good for an Aldi haul. And the 2 gallons of milk, which aren't shown. Then I went to Sprouts. I went to Sprouts mainly for this Ketochow pumpkin spice yogurt. It is so freaking good. It's by GT's. And so GT, that's the same one who makes the Synergy drinks. So same company. And these were on sale at Sprouts 2 for $6. So I got 2 of these. And then I went ahead, and this is where I splurged, y'all. This is where I went extra. I was just going to buy one because they're currently on sale for $5.99. But they had 3 left, and I know it's a seasonal flavor, so I went ahead and bought all 3. So yeah, that was an extra $12. And then I decided for lunch today, I saw this marked down. It's just white shredded chicken. That's it. So it was over, what is that, $1.70? $1.75, something less. So I went ahead and got that. And so at Sprouts, I ended up spending $28. And again, mainly because of these. Then, at Kroger. I don't think I said what I got at Kroger. So at Kroger, I bought the red onion at Kroger because, you know, at Aldi, you have to buy like a 3-pound bag. So I got a single red onion, and it was like $1.20. And then I also got the 79-cent avocados because the bag of avocados were all really hard. And these are ready today. So I got 2 of those. And then I found the gallon milk for $1.39 each. So I bought 4 gallons of the milk. And so at Kroger, I think it came, so that's what I have here. I have 1 gallon out, but I got 4 of them. And I think, yeah, that's everything. So I ended up, oh yeah, and I'm sorry. One more thing at Kroger, they have Bubbly, the sparkling water, on sale, 3 packs for $11. So it's 3 8-packs for $11. So it comes out to $3.66 per pack. So I bought 3 of those for this man.
What flavor?
They didn't have your strawberry.
What'd you get then?
I got, one of them was orange cream.
Oh, nice. I think we
cherry,
liked that one last time. That sounds good too.
And mango.
Oh, yes.
So that was the other expense at Kroger. So I ended up, I think it was $20. So this week I am over by $22. Really sad.
It's coming out of your paycheck.
Coming out of your paycheck. But last week I was under 10. So really I'm only over by 12. So next week I'll have to then adjust to make sure we don't. But I feel like with all of the milk, I'm not going to have to buy milk for a few weeks now. And a lot of this stuff like the bacon crumbles, the olive oil, these different things, I'm not going to have to buy for at least a couple weeks. So we should be good at keeping under budget next week. Saturday lunch. Finally got to sit down. It's almost 2. Takes a while to film the grocery haul, put everything away, made my lunch, make the kefir that was ready to be strained, like so much. But anyhow, I mean, I've been home before, no, it was 12:15, so I've been at home an hour and a half, y'all. So I've got an avocado, which felt like it was ready, but then I opened it, and yeah, anyways, look at this cute little tiny sweet potato. So the sweet potatoes I got from Aldi, look how small that is. Like, so tiny. But I was like, that's perfect. And then, so the chicken, what I did to that shredded chicken, I added some radishes, jalapeno. I've got a couple olives in there, some of those spicy pickles, and some sauerkraut. And then I doused it with a lot of avocado oil, a splash of the balsamic vinegar, and of course, Redmond's real salt. So kind of like a no lettuce salad, I guess. Like a Mediterranean dish. And then for dessert, I'm going to have this. Like, it's 2 servings in this container. So I'll have like half a or 1 serving. Maybe a half a serving. We'll see. Sunday lunch. I just finished my kefir, a smoothie. I just add a little pumpkin to it. And then for lunch, I've got this caprese salad. If you watched our live, you got to see us make the little mozzarella items. We've got bats, ghosts, and skeletons. And then he smoked up some burgers, so I topped it with a little marinara. And then on my side here, I've got spicy pickles, a couple olives, sauerkraut, kimchi, and then this is the scarecrow cheese ball. And then I've got a little side of avocado here because the avocados I bought yesterday are still not ready. Sunday dinner, I've got a cup of chili here, and I topped it with some fresh radish and jalapeno, a little kefir cheese, and some Ketochow.xyz hot sauce. And then on the side, I have a little sweet potato. I drizzle a little balsamic, it's all flowed out, and some butter. And that's dinner. Happy Monday. I hope everyone's having a great day. It is 11:30. I have my coffee, so enjoying that. Still doing, on work days, I do the MCT oil and the pumpkin creamer. I love that pumpkin creamer. Like, bulletproof. I really do love it. So I need like 10 of those. But anyhow, yeah, so I've got that going. Probably will have some kefir here in a little bit. Busy at work. So just doing what I gotta do, right? And listening to lots of podcasts on a Monday. Oh yeah, on the weekend or days I'm not working, I don't do the MCT oil. I'll do like butter, and that's because I feel like the MCT really does help with my mental sharpness. So, and on the weekends, I'm just like, you know what, we could just go with the flow on those days. So, yeah, probably will be making lunch pretty soon. I'm actually woke up hungry today. I haven't done that in a while, but just haven't had time to go eat anything. This is what I'm eating, coffee. But I will in a little bit. And yeah, so just excited for another day. This is going to be a good week. I can't believe October is halfway over. What? And with that said, this week, all of the collab videos have been released or being released. I think there's a couple that are released it later this week. So please make sure that you are watching those. Just, you know, help grow the community, grow each other's channels. Just kind of do that, support each other. I'm really loving it. I hope y'all love that scarecrow cheese ball. It is so good. I'll probably have some more with my lunch today because it's so good. And that's about it. Just try to get through this work day. You know how Mondays, they're just always so busy, so much going on. And I have to work wires this week, so ooh, bear with me. I like them, but it's just, you constantly have to double check to make sure there's not another wire that came through and get that worked and out. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So gonna have lunch soon. It's 1 o'clock. Here is my pumpkin kefir smoothie. So it's just the kefir mixed with some pumpkin and yummo. It is delicious. And then I'm heating up my lunch. So I'm making a jalapeno cheese sausage wrapped in bacon. So good. So lunch today, I've got that bacon wrapped sausage. And then I poured some of the fat back over it. Some pickles, spicy Bubby sauerkraut. A couple olives, a little bit of kimchi. And then I was like, it's been a while, so I'm having my fermented sweet potato and carrots with a side of kefir cheese and some Ketochow.xyz hot sauce. And then also a smashed avocado because my avocados I bought on Saturday at Aldi are still far from being ready. Monday dinner, so I got some of that Instant Pot chili topped with kefir cheese. You see I got a little sauerkraut there and some fresh radish and jalapenos. And I got a side of a sweet potato. I made a compound butter of, I just wanted some warm seasoning, so I did cinnamon, ginger, ground cloves, and a little bit of nutmeg. Made the compound butter, and that's what's in there along with some walnuts. And then, of course, I have a topo tonight. That's dinner. Tuesday breakfast, y'all. I know. It is like 9:15. I just woke up hungry, so what I made here, I have a couple slices of some thick sliced bacon that I put in the air fryer. And then I made the noosh pancakes. I still have a bag of the Nush pancake mix. Are they still around? I guess I could Google that. But anyways, it is really good, and it's handy when you want something quick and easy, and you don't feel like making it. Did you hear that, Lynn? That's Sam back there. So I added some pecans, and then that's that compound butter I made. So it's got, again, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg. And so I just put a couple dollops on my pancakes. So I made 2 small pancakes, and then the pecans would add some good fat to it. And then, who's making all that racket? You got your watermelon? And he's so cute. You're so cute, Sam. Good morning. So I am finally having my witch's brew. Wait, I guess that wasn't the witch's laugh. What's the witch laugh? Anyhow, having my coffee. It is almost 11. And it's Tuesday, so, sorry y'all. Heath is off today. So he is in there blending up the Cooper's Inferno. Like, I had a little taste, and I'm like, woo, woo, like a smidge, like, you know how they'll say a pinch in a recipe? This ain't even a pinch, it's a smidge. And, yeah, it's dancing on my tongue. It got my sinuses moving, let's just say that. A smidge did that. So, excited. Thank you again to the Caboodles for that. Super excited. The hot sauce is still fermenting. So we'll give that another week and then check on that. And then, yeah, so just enjoying my coffee, having a good day. It's a pretty easy day, slow day at work kind of day. So just chilling out. He's got his little to-do list, so he's working on those. And so, yeah, right now he's working on putting together that spice, and we have some select people we'll be sending that out to, so that'll be fun. And then he's got to make some pork pico and shred some cheese, and I don't know what else is on his list today, but he keeps himself busy. And what was cool, a couple weeks ago, talked about how I got an email offer from my dealership for 5 gallons of gas for $5. Did that for my car. Well, yesterday in the mail came the actual coupon sheets, and one was for Heath's truck, and then I got one for my car. So I'm going to should be able to, like, get that again on my car. But anyhow, so he went today, got the 5 gallons of gas for $5. He didn't do the wiper blades because the service guy talked him out of it, said they're just the worst wiper blades ever. But I told Heath, I said that probably what we got on from last year, because we seem to get these every year around this time. So I'm sure you already had those crappy wiper blades from last year. At least they would be new crappy wiper. I mean, it's $1. What do you expect for $1? Of course, they're not going to be like the best of the best wiper blades, but I thought, well, I mean, $1 a year, upgrade them, get it, you know, just get a fresh new pair. I mean, as often as we drive, we maybe go out once or twice a week in our vehicles. I mean, and most of the time it's not raining, so, but anyway, so he talked about it, so he just got the gas, which is good. I mean, that's $1 a gallon. Of course, there's a little bit of tax on that, but still, so it was like $1.15 a gallon. That's still really cheap, because around here it's about $2.90 a gallon. So still huge savings there. But they limit you to only, of course, 5 gallons, or everybody be lined up around the block, right? But that is a nice little perk, right? Does your car dealership ever send y'all perks? This is a Toyota one here in Houston. So that's, I mean, I've gotten all of my Toyotas from there for years now, and then my mother did, so I've probably been using them for 20 years, easily. So that's something, but, yeah, so got the car there, really happy, and they're just right around the corner, so it's convenient, right? Because I did know somebody I worked with, and she drove like 3 hours because she found the lowest price for the vehicle at this lot 3 hours away. So, I mean, but you know, if you save thousands of dollars, it's worth it, right? I obviously didn't do that. But we'll make smarter decisions down the road. That's the plan, right? So yeah, today's going really well. I'm just excited. It was a nice cold night last night, y'all. Like, it got down into the 50s. So our house, when we woke up this morning, it said 67. I'm like, you know, these couple of days of not having the air conditioner come on, so nice. Like, truly, it is so nice. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, that's what's going on. I'm going to get back to work and get some things going and check in with y'all in a little bit. Y'all, I'm listening to a really good podcast. So Mindy Pell's, her podcast is called The Resetter Podcast, and it's on YouTube, or of course, I'm sure whatever podcast platforms. But she just did one this week with Dr. Chatterjee. I probably mispronounced that, but you know who I mean. Really interesting talk. It's about an hour and a half long, but they talk about how stress, they even mention, you know what, no matter how healthy you are eating, if you are stressed out, if you are not getting sleep, it doesn't matter. And like, that's going to impact you more than the health food, right? You have to pay attention to your stress and your sleep. And I know that is one of the things that we've been working on. So like, if I'm feeling stressed, I'm doing like she says, I get up, walk around, go clean, something to get that cortisol out of my system. Because if you don't, cortisol will be stored on your body, right? So you got to get it out. If you're feeling stressed, and there are times that are like that, just go on a walk. Go clean, go sweep, go do something to get rid of that energy, that cortisol. You got to get it out of your system. So the real good talk about that. And then they're talking about sleep. You know, he even says if he has a patient, or some of his patients will be like, oh, I had a little bit of sugar at a family reunion on Sunday. Oh my gosh. And he's like, you're worried about that little bit of sugar, but for the past 2 weeks, you're only sleeping 5 hours a night. Like, your sleep is more concerning to me than that little bit of sugar. And I feel like, you know, a lot of us are pretty good at understanding the food that gives us health, but we need to keep looking at the mental aspect. So again, make sure you're getting enough good, deep sleep. Make sure you're doing the practices. So whatever practices that you do that you notice help you get a better, deeper, sound sleep, leave it below so other people can read the comments and get tips on what they could do, right? What has really helped you get to that good sleep? For me personally, I do my best to try not to look at my phone. So every night I'm a nighttime shower person. So every night when I take my shower, I don't want to look at my phone after that. Sometimes, you know, I kind of do, because then somebody will start messaging me and I'm like, then it weighs on my head, like, who is it? Who messaged me? So I end up looking. But I really try. One thing I did is I put on my phone a do not disturb option. So from 10 p.m. until I think 7 a.m., maybe 8 a.m. in the morning, my phone is on do not disturb. So that means it will not ring a notification. It will not do any of that. Now my alarm will still come through, but any phone calls, any text, any Facebook messages will not alert me. So just kind of a key. So if you're one of my friends and you're like, well, I messaged, she hasn't responded, probably because if it's after 10 p.m. Central, I won't hear that notification. I have to actually look at my phone to see it. So I usually don't, like, We try to get to bed before 10 p.m. So I then put my phone down and I have that do not disturb, which is really handy because, we're all in different places in the world. And so sometimes to somebody, 10 p.m. is their 8 p.m. So they think it's still early in the evening, or they might be, somewhere else where it's even earlier. And so, this way, it assures that I don't hear that beep. So that way I'm not like, oh, what's going on? Right? I just don't even hear it. So that's one of the things I've done that has really helped me. I've been doing that for a couple months now, and that's really helped. The other thing is just trying to practice kind of meditating at night. So after I take my shower, get in bed. Now, sometimes Heath and I, we do talk, right? We're talkers. And then after that, I try to just kind of meditate into sleeping. So that's what's helping me. And then also to handle the stress, I've been doing more of that, getting up and moving, those type of actions. The other thing that I like that Dr. Rangan just gave a tip is he said, don't put yourself in constant willpower. So in other words, don't bring something into your house that would be hard for you to say no to, that is either a trigger or you could go to that route. So don't bring it in your house. So if your trigger is pastas or breads, don't bring it home. If it's candy, don't bring it into the house. And I know that's definitely helped me because like when we first started keto, I flat out had to tell Heath, look, you can eat that stuff outside the house, but you can't bring it into the house or I will want it. And I think that is such a good tip. I know for some of us, it's harder because you have families and you have kids and you're like, well, yeah, but I got to buy, these Oreo treats for my kids, or I got to buy them these sugary snacks and stuff. It's like, I understand that. But since we know about health, that we know sugar is not a health food, it's a food additive that is dangerous, maybe start trying to transition them off of those sweets. Not only is it beneficial for them, but then it's not in your house to tempt you. And he brought up the case that he was alone. His wife had went somewhere for the weekend. He just tucked their kids into bed. And he said, and instantly he was like, ooh, I want something sweet, right? It's 8 o'clock at night. Gonna go have myself a treat. Then he went to look at his cupboard and there's nothing there. It's nuts, olives, avocados, healthy snacks, right? Those are great snacks for kids, give them some nuts, give them some fresh veg, olives, those type of things. But he said there was nothing sweet because they don't buy it and bring it in the house. So he didn't have that because that was like kind of an emotional last minute thought. And if it had been there, he would have had it. So that's why it's important to just try not to have those things, buy those things in your house. Find creative ways to change those things. If you do have children, if you do have children or a spouse that's not keto, but you want them to be healthy, and they probably want to be healthy. So try to have an open discussion on ways it could be healthier for them, and even explaining, kind of like I did with Heath, look, I understand you like those things, but if they're in this house, I'm going to be tempted and I might eat them. So please, for my health, don't bring it into the house. If you want to buy them, when you're out and have it outside the house, that's your decision, but please don't bring them in the house. Like, I'm just not going to have those in the house anymore. The kids can get those treats usually at school, And give those options. Or, your partner, when they go to work, they are surrounded by all of that, crappy food. That's when they can have it. Just don't bring it in the house. And I thought that was just a really huge step that will help limit or prevent some of those emotional or boredom type responses when you're like, well, that sounds good. Or even Dr. Mindy Pels said, hey, sometimes it'll eat at her where she's just like, ooh, I need to eat it. I need to eat it. And that's how I felt before. It's like, oh, I know it's there, so I should get it. Like, I should go, I could have just a little, right? Right? And so I understand exactly what she means by it eats at you. And I think that's refreshing to hear when you have somebody, like even health professionals like Dr. Pels and Dr. Rangan, that are like, they have those moments too, right? Because sometimes I feel like we hear so many people who are like, oh, I never cheat. I never do this. I'm so in tune. I don't do any of this stuff. Like, who are you to go out and eat this stuff? Like, you just don't have the willpower, or you're just not in tune with your body, or you're just not healthy enough. You're not looking at all that. I mean, that's great in theory. And if you're someone who is so in tune with yourself, if you're someone that is just has that steel of armor to willpower to say no if a donut's placed in front of you, great for you. But I think for the average person, and I know I would put myself in this boat, that yeah, there are times when I see that and I'm like, sourdough bread, like, oh, good thing I'm not in San Francisco, because that would be really hard. So, and I feel like that, like, yeah, would I go, like, I had a market a few weeks ago, there was this neat French booth that I bought the French mustard from. He had some sourdough bread, and I'm like, oh my gosh, French sourdough bread? Imagine how good that would be with lots of butter and some mashed avocado, or just butter and put some, something. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, but I was like, you know what though? I'm not going to bring that to the house, because that would be a whole loaf and it would tempt Heath. And then next thing you know, instead of having a slice of sourdough, you're having a whole loaf of it. So I was like, no, that is not good for me. I'm not going to bring that home, because it will just snowball. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy the mustard and maybe make a chaffle. But I never get around to making chaffle. But yeah, so you kind of have to realize that, it's okay. I think most of us are going to be like Dr. Pels and Dr. Rangan and be like, you know what, there are moments that creeps up on you where you're like, that sounds really good. Like, I would like to have a little bit of that. And if you could do things to minimize that opportunity. So like he said, wasn't in the pantry. Well, at 8 o'clock at night, you're not going to then like, okay, well now I got to go out, because like for me, if I'm going to have to get dressed and drive somewhere, I'm like, never mind. So it's not worth it that much. And then by the time you go to sleep the next day, you basically forgot about it and you move on. What's y'all's thoughts?
And Tuesday's dinner, what I've got here is a cheese enchiladas. It's actually cheese and bacon. So I got that bacon from, oops, sorry. Heath was taking the light there. I got that bacon because of Renee, our number one groupie from Sam's, and I just put a little bit of the bacon crumbles inside. Some wonderful cheese from Mary T in Canada. Thank you, Mary T. And then we've got here topped some of that leftover chili, some Kefir cheese, fermented peppers. I got a side of sauerkraut and avocado. And then to drink, we got a topo. And that wraps up another week of the Warden Report. I hope you enjoyed all the talks this week. I can't wait to read all of your comments. If you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because every week I ramble on
So you get to look forward to that. And if you actually stayed all the way through this point, we haven't done that keyword in a while. So do the keyword pumpkin. And I want to shout out to our channel members. Thank y'all so much for your ongoing support. So please stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. We love and appreciate y'all very much. And remember, this Saturday, 6 p.m. is the monthly cook-along. So make sure you got that email with the link. If you didn't, please reach out to me ASAP. Bye.